The relationship between Moff Tarkin and Darth Sidious is one of calculated pragmatism, mutual recognition of ambition, and the cold machinery of imperial dominance. This bond is not born of friendship or trust, but of a shared vision for the galaxy, absolute control under the iron fist of the Empire. Their interactions are emblematic of the hierarchical and power-driven nature of the Galactic Empire, where loyalty is secondary to usefulness and personal ambition is a prerequisite for survival and success. Tarkin's rise to power within the Galactic Empire is marked by his unwavering belief in the necessity of order through fear. This ideology aligns perfectly with Darth Sidious, the master manipulator and Dark Lord of the Sith, who orchestrates the fall of the Republic and the rise of the Empire. From their earliest collaborations, it becomes clear that Tarkin is more than a mere servant. He is a vital instrument in Sidious's grand design, one who shares the Emperor's disdain for weakness and inefficiency. Darth Sidious, formerly known as Chancellor Palpatine, cultivated Tarkin's loyalty long before the Empire was officially established. During the waning days of the Republic, Palpatine recognized Tarkin's ruthless efficiency and his potential as a key enforcer of the new regime. Tarkin, in turn, admired Palpatine's cunning and his ability to navigate the political labyrinth of Coruscant with precision. This mutual respect forms the foundation of their relationship, with both men understanding the value the other brings to their shared goals. Tarkin's doctrine of rule through fear is a principle that Sidious fully embraces. The Death Star project, the ultimate symbol of this philosophy, epitomizes their combined vision. Sidious sees in Tarkin a man who not only understands the necessity of fear as a tool of control, but one who is willing to implement it without hesitation. The construction of the Death Star, under Tarkin's supervision, becomes a focal point of their collaboration, a testament to their shared belief in the power of overwhelming force to suppress dissent and rebellion. The Emperor's trust in Tarkin is evidenced by the unprecedented authority he grants him. As the first Grand Moff, Tarkin is given control over the Outer Rim territories and placed in charge of the Death Star, a position that places him above even the highest-ranking military officials. This level of trust is rare in the Empire, where betrayal and infighting are common. However, it is not trust in the conventional sense. Sidious's confidence in Tarkin stems from the latter's unwavering commitment to the Empire's cause and his proven track record of success. Tarkin, for his part, does not see Sidious as a benevolent leader or even a partner. He views the Emperor as the embodiment of the Empire's ultimate goal, absolute order. Tarkin's loyalty is to the concept of the Empire itself, rather than to Sidious as an individual. This distinction is crucial, as it underscores the transactional nature of their relationship. Tarkin serves Sidious because doing so furthers his own ambitions and aligns with his ideological convictions. He recognizes that Sidious, as the architect of the Empire, is the most effective means of achieving the galaxy-wide order he desires. While Tarkin is a skilled tactician and administrator, Sidious is the mastermind whose vision guides the Empire. Their relationship is one of complementary strengths. Sidious provides the overarching strategy and political acumen, while Tarkin executes these plans with military precision. This dynamic is evident in their handling of the Rebel Alliance. Sidious understands the symbolic importance of the rebellion, recognizing that its defeat must be total and unequivocal to deter future resistance. Tarkin, with his unrelenting focus on results, is the ideal candidate to carry out this directive. However, their relationship is not without its tensions. Tarkin's confidence in his own abilities sometimes borders on arrogance, which could have been a point of contention with a lesser leader. Sidious, however, is secure in his position and understands that Tarkin's self-assurance is a necessary trait for someone in his role. Moreover, Sidious's mastery of the dark side grants him an unassailable position of power, ensuring that even his most capable subordinates, including Tarkin, remain under his control. Sidious's relationship with Tarkin also highlights the Emperor's ability to delegate power while maintaining ultimate authority. Unlike Vader, who operates more as an enforcer and personal instrument of Sidious's will, Tarkin is granted a degree of autonomy in his military operations. This autonomy is a testament to Sidious's confidence in Tarkin's judgment and his understanding that micromanaging every aspect of the Empire would be counterproductive. By allowing Tarkin to operate independently, Sidious ensures that the Empire's military might is wielded with maximum efficiency. Tarkin's treatment of Darth Vader provides further insight into his relationship with Sidious. Despite Vader's status as the Emperor's right-hand man, Tarkin treats him as an equal, sometimes even as a subordinate. This dynamic is indicative of Tarkin's confidence in his position and his understanding of the Emperor's priorities. Sidious, for his part, does not interfere in this dynamic, recognizing that Tarkin's authority must be upheld to maintain the hierarchy of the Empire. This tacit approval from Sidious reinforces the unique status that Tarkin holds within the imperial structure. The relationship between Tarkin and Sidious is ultimately one of mutual benefit, driven by a shared vision and a pragmatic understanding of their respective roles. Sidious relies on Tarkin to implement his vision of a galaxy ruled through fear and absolute authority, while Tarkin uses his position to further his own ambitions and ideals. Their collaboration is a cornerstone of the Empire's power, demonstrating the effectiveness of their combined strengths in achieving their common goal of galactic domination. Through their relationship, Sidious and Tarkin exemplify the ruthless efficiency of the Empire. Each man recognizes the other's value and leverages their strengths to maintain and expand the Empire's control. It is a relationship devoid of personal sentiment, built instead on a foundation of shared ideology and mutual ambition. This pragmatic alliance is what enables the Empire to become the dominant force in the galaxy, with Sidious as its visionary leader and Tarkin as its chief executor. Though their partnership is ultimately defined by the success and expansion of the Empire, it also underscores the inherent fragility of a regime built on fear and oppression. The destruction of the Death Star and Tarkin's death serve as a reminder of the limits of their power and the consequences of over-reliance on fear as a tool of control. Yet, even in the face of such setbacks, the legacy of their collaboration endures, shaping the galaxy's history long after their demise. The destruction of the Death Star and Tarkin's death marked a pivotal moment in the history of the Galactic Empire, but it did little to diminish the broader impact of the relationship between Moff Tarkin and Darth Sidious. Their partnership laid the groundwork for the Empire's approach to governance and military strategy, which persisted even after their deaths. Tarkin's death was a tactical loss, but it highlighted the broader reliance of the Empire on fear-based control, a cornerstone of Sidious's philosophy. In the years leading up to the construction of the Death Star, Sidious ensured that Tarkin had the resources and authority necessary to oversee the project. The Death Star was more than a weapon, it was a symbol of the Empire's absolute power. For Sidious, the battle station embodied his vision of a galaxy where dissent could be silenced with the mere threat of annihilation. Tarkin was the ideal candidate to oversee such a project, as he not only understood the strategic importance of the Death Star, but also fully embraced the psychological warfare it represented. Sidious's decision to entrust Tarkin with the Death Star reveals much about their relationship. Sidious rarely placed such immense power in the hands of others, but Tarkin was an exception. The Emperor understood that Tarkin's ambitions aligned perfectly with the goals of the Empire. This alignment of purpose allowed Sidious to focus on his dark side pursuits, confident that Tarkin would execute his military vision without fail. Their shared belief in the doctrine of fear as a means of control reinforced their partnership, making Tarkin an extension of Sidious's will in the military sphere. Tarkin's command style was ruthless, and his effectiveness in enforcing imperial rule earned him the Emperor's continued favor. He had no tolerance for insubordination or inefficiency, qualities that Sidious admired. In many ways, Tarkin exemplified the ideal imperial officer: ambitious, loyal to the cause, and unflinchingly brutal in the pursuit of order. Sidious capitalized on these traits, using Tarkin to enforce his vision across the galaxy. The Emperor's trust in Tarkin was such that he rarely intervened in the Grand Moff's decisions, allowing Tarkin to operate with near total autonomy. The relationship between Tarkin and Sidious also sheds light on the power dynamics within the Empire. Unlike other high-ranking officials who feared Vader or sought to manipulate their way into Sidious's inner circle, Tarkin commanded respect through competence and results. Sidious valued Tarkin not for his loyalty alone, but for his ability to deliver tangible outcomes. This meritocratic approach to power was a hallmark of Sidious's leadership style. He rewarded those who could further his ambitions and discarded those who failed, regardless of their rank or past service. Tarkin's interactions with Vader further illustrate the unique position he held within the imperial hierarchy. While Vader was a figure of terror and unquestionable authority to most, Tarkin treated him as a peer. This dynamic was possible because both Tarkin and Vader had Sidious's favor, but it also highlighted the Emperor's strategic use of his subordinates. Sidious understood that maintaining balance between his top enforcers was crucial to the Empire's stability. By allowing Tarkin and Vader to coexist with mutual respect, Sidious ensured that both remained focused on their duties rather than engaging in destructive power struggles. Sidious's ability to manage these relationships is a testament to his political acumen. He understood the strengths and weaknesses of his subordinates and used them to his advantage. Tarkin's strength lay in his strategic mind and his unwavering dedication to the Empire's cause. Sidious nurtured these qualities, providing Tarkin with the tools and authority necessary to succeed. In doing so, Sidious created a system where power was concentrated in a few key individuals, each of whom was indispensable to the functioning of the Empire. Despite their shared vision, the relationship between Tarkin and Sidious was not without its risks. Sidious's reliance on Tarkin to oversee critical projects like the Death Star meant that any failure on Tarkin's part could have significant consequences. The destruction of the Death Star at the Battle of Yavin was a devastating blow to the Empire and a personal loss for Sidious, who had invested heavily in the project. However, the Emperor's reaction to this failure highlights the calculated nature of his relationship with Tarkin. While the loss of the Death Star and Tarkin was significant, Sidious quickly shifted focus to other means of consolidating power, including the construction of a second Death Star. The loss of Tarkin also underscored the challenges of relying on individuals, no matter how competent, to uphold the Empire's vision. Sidious's strategy of empowering key figures like Tarkin and Vader was effective in the short term, but ultimately left the Empire vulnerable to sudden shifts in power dynamics. Tarkin's death created a vacuum that could not easily be filled, as few within the Empire possessed his combination of military acumen and ideological commitment. Sidious recognized this and adapted accordingly, but the loss highlighted the inherent risks of his leadership style. Even in death, Tarkin's influence on the Empire and his relationship with Sidious continued to shape the course of galactic events. The Tarkin doctrine, which emphasized the use of overwhelming force and fear to maintain control, remained a central tenet of imperial policy. Sidious's continued reliance on fear as a tool of governance was a direct continuation of the principles he and Tarkin had established together. This legacy ensured that Tarkin's impact on the Empire outlived him, cementing his place as one of the most influential figures in Sidious's regime. Their relationship, while devoid of personal attachment, was one of the most productive and strategically significant in the history of the Empire. It exemplified the cold, calculated nature of imperial leadership, where power was wielded with precision and subordinates were valued for their utility rather than their loyalty. Tarkin and Sidious's partnership was a perfect alignment of vision and execution, a testament to the efficiency and brutality of the Empire's rule. The lasting impact of Tarkin and Sidious's relationship on the Galactic Empire cannot be overstated. Their shared commitment to ruling through fear became the blueprint for the Empire's policies, influencing its military doctrine, political strategies, and even the psychological framework used to maintain control over its vast territories. While Tarkin's death was a severe blow to the Empire's leadership, the systems and ideologies he helped establish persisted, underscoring the enduring nature of his collaboration with Darth Sidious. One of the most significant legacies of their relationship is the institutionalization of fear as a governing principle. The Tarkin doctrine, which advocates for ruling through the suppression of rebellion via overwhelming displays of power, was not only implemented during Tarkin's lifetime, but also continued to define imperial policy long after his death. Sidious recognized the power of this doctrine to instill compliance across the galaxy, particularly in systems where loyalty to the Empire was tenuous. By deploying fear as a strategic tool, the Empire sought to eliminate resistance before it could gain momentum, using examples such as Alderaan's destruction to demonstrate the consequences of defiance. This alignment of ideology between Tarkin and Sidious speaks to their mutual understanding of power and control. Sidious, as a Sith Lord, saw fear as a fundamental tool not just in warfare, but in all forms of dominance. Through the manipulation of fear, he maintained control over his subordinates, the Senate, and eventually the entire galaxy. Tarkin, with his military background and strategic mind, applied this principle in a more tangible way, operationalizing fear through the Death Star and other military initiatives. Together, they forged a regime that was as psychologically oppressive as it was physically powerful. The construction of the Death Star is often seen as the ultimate manifestation of their shared philosophy. The station was not just a weapon, but a symbol of the Empire's unassailable might. Sidious envisioned it as the cornerstone of his strategy to maintain control over the galaxy. For Tarkin, it was a practical application of his doctrine, a mobile base of operations capable of projecting power anywhere in the galaxy. The sheer scale of the Death Star project, involving countless resources and personnel, was a testament to the importance both men placed on its success. However, the Death Star's destruction highlighted the limitations of their reliance on fear. The Rebel Alliance's victory at Yavin demonstrated that even the most overwhelming force could be vulnerable under the right circumstances. For Sidious, this event was a lesson in adaptability. He understood that while fear was a powerful tool, it could not be the sole pillar of his regime. In response, he began diversifying the Empire's strategies, focusing on tightening his grip through other means, such as increasing the surveillance state and deploying more specialized military units like the Inquisitors. Tarkin's absence in the aftermath of the Death Star's destruction also left a void in the Empire's military leadership. While other figures, such as Grand Admiral Thrawn, would rise to prominence, none fully replicated the unique combination of ambition, competence, and ideological alignment that Tarkin embodied. Sidious was acutely aware of this and continued to seek individuals who could carry out his vision with similar efficacy. However, the loss of Tarkin served as a reminder of the Empire's dependence on key figures to execute its most critical initiatives. The relationship between Tarkin and Sidious also sheds light on the broader dynamics of power within the Empire. Unlike many of Sidious's other subordinates, Tarkin did not rely on Sith mysticism or personal loyalty to secure his position. Instead, his rise was purely meritocratic, based on his strategic brilliance and ability to deliver results. This made him an anomaly in a regime where many sought power through manipulation and political maneuvering. Sidious, for his part, valued Tarkin's straightforward approach, recognizing that it brought a level of efficiency and reliability that was often lacking in other parts of the imperial hierarchy. This pragmatic relationship was emblematic of Sidious's leadership style. While he wielded absolute power as Emperor and Dark Lord of the Sith, he was willing to delegate significant authority to those who could advance his agenda effectively. Tarkin's success was a direct result of this approach, as Sidious provided him with the autonomy and resources needed to fulfill his objectives. This delegation of power, however, was always carefully controlled. Sidious ensured that even his most trusted subordinates remained ultimately accountable to him. The dynamic between Tarkin and Darth Vader further illustrates the balance of power within the Empire. Tarkin's willingness to assert authority over Vader, despite the latter's status as Sidious's apprentice, highlights the Emperor's calculated approach to managing his inner circle. Sidious understood that fostering a competitive but functional relationship between his top enforcers would ensure that both remained focused on their duties. Tarkin and Vader's mutual respect and cooperation, albeit strained at times, were a direct result of Sidious's strategic manipulation of their roles. In the broader context of the galaxy, the partnership between Tarkin and Sidious symbolized the Empire's ruthless pursuit of order. Their combined efforts to crush the Rebel Alliance and suppress dissent reflected a shared belief in the necessity of authoritarian control. For Sidious, the Empire was the culmination of his Sith philosophy, a regime built on the principles of power, fear, and domination. For Tarkin, it was the realization of his vision for a galaxy governed by strict order and military might. The impact of their relationship extended beyond the operational aspects of the Empire. It also influenced the political and social fabric of the galaxy. Under their leadership, the Empire implemented policies that suppressed individual freedoms, dismantled democratic institutions, and centralized power in the hands of the Emperor. These measures were justified under the guise of maintaining peace and stability, but in reality, they served to entrench the Empire's control and eliminate potential threats to its authority. Even after Tarkin's death, his influence continued to shape the Empire's policies. The second Death Star, constructed under the direct supervision of Sidious, was a continuation of the strategic vision they had developed together. While the station's construction was ultimately a failure, its existence underscored the enduring belief in fear as a means of control. Sidious's willingness to invest in a second Death Star, despite the catastrophic loss of the first, reflects his commitment to the principles he and Tarkin had championed. The relationship between Tarkin and Sidious, while primarily one of mutual utility, had a profound and lasting impact on the galaxy. Together, they forged an empire that stood as a testament to their shared philosophy of power and control. Their collaboration demonstrated the effectiveness of combining political cunning with military precision, creating a regime that, for a time, seemed unassailable. The final chapter of the relationship between Moff Tarkin and Darth Sidious, while marked by Tarkin's death, is also where the true legacy of their partnership is most evident. The Empire's response to the destruction of the Death Star and the subsequent escalation of the Galactic Civil War illustrate how deeply their combined ideology had permeated the Imperial system. The machinery of fear and control, which they had so meticulously crafted, continued to drive the Empire's policies and strategies. Sidious, ever the master of adaptation, viewed the destruction of the Death Star as both a setback and an opportunity. While the loss of such a significant symbol of imperial might was a blow to the Empire's image of invincibility, Sidious recognized the necessity of evolving his approach to maintaining power. In the wake of Tarkin's death, the Emperor began to place greater emphasis on more covert and insidious methods of control. The deployment of agents like the Inquisitors, as well as the expansion of intelligence networks under Imperial intelligence, highlighted a shift toward a more multifaceted strategy of suppression. However, the core tenet of ruling through fear remained unshaken. The construction of the second Death Star, even larger and more powerful than the first, was a direct continuation of Tarkin's vision. Sidious's decision to pursue this project, despite the risks, demonstrates his unwavering belief in the power of psychological warfare. This second Death Star was intended not only as a weapon, but as a declaration that the Empire's resolve was unbreakable. Its very existence was meant to convey the futility of rebellion, reinforcing the message that resistance would only lead to annihilation. The second Death Star project also serves as a testament to the lingering influence of Tarkin's methodology. Even in his absence, Tarkin's strategic principles guided the Empire's military decisions. Officers who had served under him continued to implement his doctrine, ensuring that his legacy endured within the Imperial ranks. Sidious, recognizing the value of Tarkin's contributions, made no effort to deviate from the foundational strategies that had defined their partnership. The relationship between Tarkin and Sidious also provides a deeper understanding of the Emperor's long-term vision for the galaxy. For Sidious, the Empire was not merely a means of consolidating power, but a tool for reshaping the galaxy in his image. Tarkin's role in this vision was instrumental, as his unwavering dedication to order and discipline complemented Sidious's own Sith-driven ambitions. Together, they sought to eliminate chaos and establish a galaxy where every star system operated under a single, unyielding authority. This vision extended beyond mere military dominance. Sidious and Tarkin both understood the importance of propaganda and perception in maintaining control. The Death Star was as much a psychological weapon as it was a physical one, designed to keep entire sectors in line through the threat of instantaneous destruction. The Empire's portrayal of the rebellion as a dangerous and destabilizing force further reinforced this narrative, casting the Empire as the sole guarantor of peace and security. Even as the rebellion grew stronger and more organized, Sidious remained steadfast in his belief that fear was the ultimate tool of governance. The Battle of Endor, which culminated in the destruction of the second Death Star and Sidious's apparent death, marked the end of the Empire's dominance. However, the strategies and doctrines developed by Sidious and Tarkin continued to influence Imperial remnants and successor factions, such as the First Order. The First Order's rise, decades after the fall of the Empire, can be seen as a direct continuation of the Sidious-Tarkin legacy. Like the Empire, the First Order embraced the use of overwhelming force and fear to achieve its goals. Starkiller Base, a superweapon capable of destroying entire star systems, was a clear homage to the Death Star projects. This continuity underscores the enduring impact of the principles established by Sidious and Tarkin during their time at the helm of the Empire. Ultimately, the relationship between Moff Tarkin and Darth Sidious stands as one of the most defining partnerships in galactic history. It was a relationship built on mutual ambition, ideological alignment, and a shared commitment to the principles of power and control. Their combined efforts reshaped the galaxy, leaving a legacy that persisted long after their deaths. While the collapse of the Empire and the eventual defeat of the First Order signify the limitations of their methods, the impact of their partnership cannot be overstated. Tarkin and Sidious were architects of a new galactic order, one that sought to impose absolute control through fear and dominance. Their relationship, though devoid of personal loyalty or affection, was a perfect alignment of purpose, and its influence on the galaxy would be felt for generations to come. By the end of their partnership, both Sidious and Tarkin had left an indelible mark on the galaxy. Their shared vision of an empire ruled through fear and strength served as both the Empire's greatest asset and its ultimate downfall. Though their reign was finite, the echoes of their collaboration shaped the course of galactic history, ensuring that their legacy would endure long after the stars of the Empire had faded from the sky.